All right, so in this video, I'm going to show you guys how to start to lay out your drawing for your painting. So your paper should definitely already have the blue tape border around the edges before you start your drawing, and you must use a pencil because you only get one piece of this paper. So if you make mistakes, you want to be able to erase them. So my sketch is right here, and I'm gonna have that next to me as I'm working on my final drawing. I used a drawing figurine, so I have him set up right here in front of my paper so I can look at it as I go. And if you needed to look up any other pictures, you're gonna wanna either do that on a phone. If you have one, you can use that to look up pictures, or you can go on one of the computers in the back of the room. So I'm gonna start by drawing out just the line where my ground is, as you can see in my sketch, and then I'm gonna work on drawing the man. So that's the hardest part, and I'm just gonna get that done with first. So first I'm gonna lay out that line, and that's my ground, so I'm not gonna make it perfectly straight. And as you can see, I don't press very hard when I'm drawing. I press really lightly because chances are I'm going to have to go in and erase stuff and change it, because I don't do things perfectly the first time. So I'm gonna start drawing out the man. So if I look on my sketch, look at how close the man's head is to the top of the paper. Well, I want to do the same thing on this paper as well. So I'm gonna go ahead way up at the top of my paper, and I'm gonna draw the circle for my man's head. And I'm also looking at my figurine, which is sitting right in front of me. So I'm gonna go ahead and draw the head. And I like to draw really lightly, so if I make mistakes, I can erase. So if you can see that, the head is drawn very lightly. Now I'm gonna go ahead and draw the neck. And I'm looking back and forth between the drawing figurine and my paper, so I can try and draw exactly what I'm looking at. So I'm drawing his chest now. And as you can see, it's still really light, so it'd be easy to erase if I make those mistakes. Now I need to draw his arms. So he has those circular joints, and then his arms go out to the side since he's gonna be flexing, and I'm even gonna add some muscle in there because he's supposed to have big muscles and he's flexing. And then the elbows go up like that. And I wanna make them even. So I'm gonna kind of use my pencil to go from side to side to make sure that they're even. And then draw those hands that are curled up in a fist. Okay, so this is what I have so far. You guys can see that. All right, now next I need to draw his waist, and then his hips, and then his legs. So remember, this guy that I'm drawing is planted in the ground because his feet are actually roots growing out of the ground. So I've got my figure pretty much set up. Now I have to work on those roots. So in this drawing, I just did this really quickly. I didn't spend a lot of time. I want my roots in my painting to be really awesome and a lot more detailed, so I'm gonna take my time on this. So I'll maybe start with one root, and then maybe have other roots growing off of it. And they get smaller as they grow off of the other roots. You can see that. So I'm going to continue. Roots are usually really full, a lot of detail, very complicated. So kind of like tree branches. And if I notice like a big empty space, like right here, I might want to add a root in there. So there's one, and then I would go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. And I'm thinking about filling in empty space as I'm doing this. So there's a lot of empty space right here, so I might want to add some roots over there to fill that in a little bit. So something like that. I would probably continue to add a little bit more, but for the sake of this video, I'm going to stop there. I did want to talk a little bit about my figure. So I have the circles and stuff for the joints that you can see on the drawing figurine, like these circles. And I'm not going to leave those in for my final drawing. This is going to be a silhouette. So I'm going to erase those circles. And I'm actually just going to darken the outline of my figure now. Now this, I'm making it darker because these are the lines that I know I want to keep. I make his chest get a little bit bigger because he's supposed to be a male. And then just darkening these lines. Now, if there was something that I wanted to change, then before I darkened it, I would erase it, go ahead and re-sketch it until I had the shape that I liked. Then I could go in and darken it. Now, there's my final outline for what I want my figure to look like. I can go in now and erase all those extra lines that I have that I don't want to keep. They're easy to erase because I didn't draw too dark. I'm going to go ahead and darken this line for my ground as well because I'm going to keep that. And the last thing that I am missing is my rays from the background. So you could use a ruler if you wanted for this. I'm going to freehand it. There will be rulers out for you. So I'm just going to start one from each side, and then I'm going to go out from his center of his body. Now I'm not drawing through him, I'm drawing around him. And I think that looks pretty good. So there is my final drawing, just to kind of show you guys the whole thing. The next step would be to get a black Sharpie and to outline everything with a black Sharpie. I like to do that before I paint. If you feel that you want to paint it and add a black Sharpie outline at the end, that's fine as well. I'll let you guys decide how you want to do that. So that is what you are going to work on today, and I will be able to help you individually with your drawings if you need it.